Alright, so what we're going to be talking about today is all based off of foundation. But I have to bring you back to the big overarching picture and walk you in so you can start to learn how to become more and more grounded and free. Number one, we are in pillar number 2 of the 3 pillars. Dismantling beliefs, optimizing your body, creating something that works for you. Something that now gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Always adding it into your life. Those 3 pillars. We're in pillar number 2 of the 3, which has its own level of foundation and structure to it. The one that we're going to be talking about is all about getting you grounded, as well as getting you to move and connect mind, body together. So what that looks like is someone came to me with knee pain. Knee pain is a hinge joint, which is another foundation you have to remember. What are the 3 foundations of the body? We have our feet, our hips, and a way our shoulders glide across our body. Not just our positioning of our shoulders, how it moves along the body. That glide dictates you locking or not. Your hips not being able to move dictates how well you walk and you combine. Those 2 together, your hips and your shoulders together, acts as how your brain connects with your lower half. And that's all based off of your core. So in this case, every time you have a pain, you want to think about the joint capsule below it and above it. So if you have neck pain, you have to think about the top part of your head and the way your shoulders glide. If you're having shoulder pain, like here, mid-back, upper shoulder pain, you have to think shoulder girdle glide, core, and hips. For today, we're going to be taking apart hips all the way to our feet, right? So I had a client that asked me a question. He's having pain within his knee. Inside the knee itself, his knee feels like it's traveling across and giving him pain here. As well as he's not able to do short foot as well, because what he said is he feels like the pinky is not grabbing, it's cramping when it's trying. Which then means every time you walk, this person walks, instead of being a straight moving, he's having an internal glide going here, which forces this area to work. It grabs and it starts to now overstretch all these areas. We have to get you now to think, how can I get grounded? And this is already in the morning routine. How well is your short footing? And I guarantee you the short foot's going to work, but you're going to grab more toes rather than lift your arch. Lifting your arch is going to be the game changer here. Now, if you're able to lift your arch in that world, you now need to focus on what is your pinky toe doing? How well is your pinky toe working in that aspect? Is your pinky toe just doing this and you're doing this in that manner? Or are you able to get through and feel the energy flow up your leg? And that was the last exercise where we do one of the exercises that we do when we pull our heels together and pick up. When you do that, is it more so on your big toes or your pinky toes flaring out? We have to get the whole foot to grab, pull in, and then be able to Dorothy when you're up. So you're not doing a number like this, you're on your pinky toes all together, inside. But now it's all about where. I'm going to make this into a lovely little bikini. This is going to be awesome. So we now need to get you to stop doing a number like this or this. You have to now be able to grab toes all together, pick yourself up. That's what I have to show you today. Why that's important? Because this is your grounding agent. If you're short foot and your foot's not grounded, something else is going to work. Remember, another rule and principle is your body always craves stability. Stability is your grounded state, which means energy flows all the way through you. And if there's a slight buckle in anything, your body locks and you're not able to flow through. And that's every single time. So whenever you are starting to get anxious, whenever you're starting to overthink, move, you're not flowing energy through you. Let's get you started now. So what you have to do is you have to think, start from the bottom and work your way up, or start from the top and work your way down. Never jump around because you'll get lost in your body telling you what to do. But if you start from the bottom and work your way up, which is what we're going to do today, it's going to be a little bit more simpler for you to manage it. So number one, always look at where you at. If you tippy toe is your natural inclination to go out, to go in. When you balance on one foot, does it buckle in? And I'm exaggerating. We're looking for a slight movement in this way. That's all we're looking for. You should be able to balance with a soft knee. And this is an awesome look, right? With a soft knee, without it doing a number like this. And it's soft, and I can actually do a whole lunge. And you see how my knee wants to drop in? And now I'm balancing it out. and you can see how my toes are flopping all over the place. Now I'm going to grab with short foot, bring this in. I'm going to make sure my hamstring's on, and then I'm going to load. And you see how now it's rearranging itself. Now my hip is flaring out, which means my glute's not on all the way. So now I'm going to recheck back in with my BKT, pull up my pelvic floor, make sure this is now nice and sturdy on. I'm going to, there's a bag right behind me. I'm going to pull in here, grab a short foot, pull it back, and now I have a sturdier look. And it popped up as I touched the bag. Ready? All the way back, pulling back. And now I'm able to lunge. Boom. That was a way better contraction. All the way through. That's our name of our game. How do we get there? Is going to be the kicker. You have to now understand a few things. Your foot needs to now start to work, which means I want you to think about going through your top of your foot and push on the flesh there. And as you push in between on your top part of your foot, you're going to start to feel, they're called intrinsic muscles inside of that area. Push on that. That's going to be very tender. Do all 4 toes all the way up. And then when you do your short foot, with your short foot, I want you now to put it all the way on the bottom. Don't think toes like this. Think whole entire arch. Whole entire arch, which then everything pulls up. Everything pulls up, not just your toes. And you're going to feel a lot of sensations running its way up. That's going to be the how do you rearrange the arch thought process of what you need to do. That's number 1. So now that gets your feet working. Now we have to unlock the knee. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you always know you foam roll to unlock the fascia. You trigger point work to unlock tissues from grabbing. And then you stretch to get a muscle tissue to start communicating with the muscle fibers, with the muscle group with the muscle bundle with the other muscle groups all the way around. I said that kind of off. But you want to think about that. So if you're already foam rolling, you now need to go a little bit more specific trigger point work, which this muscle right here is going to be your target. The way that you're going to do that is, I tell everyone, always start with the racquetball for this reason. This is a blunt object, and you have to be very careful with this object. So what you're going to do is, you're going to take this object and go into the same position that you would naturally foam roll, right? You're going to place that right in that teardrop muscle. So right here, you're going to place it like so. And this is where you have to know and listen to your body, right? We're going to go in, place it right there, like so. And we're going to just wait there for a second. If we're in the right spot, it's going to start feeling tender, not painful, tender. And then we're going to start picking up our foot, like so, ever so slightly, and it's going to start feeling really hot. Don't go to a painful state. And then you're going to end up in, I'm moving over at this point, in a straight knee process, where my knee is almost straight. And I'm going to now work my way. I'm going to leave it right there. We are now right where I need to be. I am now going to work the ball all the way up in this teardrop muscle, which then, remember when I first did this before? Just that little bit stabilized how well my knee is able to function right alongside the glute and everything. It started to stabilize. So that's 2 areas that you now need to focus on. Then, again, as we start to get your hips to start working better, all you have to do now is bring up your pelvic floor, balance on one leg, and now bring your knee, your hip, everything stays nice and straight, belly button in, come back. So you see how I'm not leaning forward? Leaning forward, I'm actually leaning back ever so slightly. And the goal is, don't let your hip flop out. Keep this glute engaged as you lean it back, and I will start to rearrange how that hip muscle moves. That is the 3 things that you need to do to correct this posterior chain, this imbalance aspect. But what I was trying to say just now is your posterior chain needs to be on, which means everything of your morning routine will start to activate as you're doing this more and more. Give this a little bit of time. learn how to grab with your feet, BKT in, pelvic floor on, and this is where the posture course comes in. You come in and you're able to move back, up, back. Everything with your foot and your ankles are going to rebalance itself as you're starting to move based off your muscle tissue. So if you're getting stuck in this range or stuck in this range, as well as boom, balancing here, like breaking at the hip here, you now need to be able to stay straight, come all the way back, up, down. Everything is on, working the way it's supposed to be without you breaking. That is how you correct that imbalance, as well as get you grounded, especially on explosive movements and when you're walking through life. So when you walk through life, you should actually be able to be straight, pick up, and down. We just regressed a movement of walking into just a simple step. If you have any questions, holla at me. I'll be right here. Just now play with this and learn your body slightly different than what I showed you here. Find out where your hot spots are. Find out where you're starting to break at. And as you start to give it to me, I'll start to rearrange these videos where you actually can start to see what you need to do. See you on the next one.